Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna do a very fun experiment, and that is making rubies in a laser engraver. Now, making rubies in general is something that a lot of people have done on YouTube. They've done it in microwaves, with arc welders, and even with a laser. I saw it in Styropyro's latest video. And even though his laser is way more powerful than my engraver, his was at 255 watts of output power versus the measly 10 watts that my machine can produce. The engraver is much more focused than the larger lasers from the larger diodes. It's much easier to focus them, and they are generally constructed in a different way. So the power density should also be pretty good, and maybe even closer, because the area is extremely small on a normal engraver. So I'm hoping that we can have a chance of this working, which would be pretty good. And it needs to work pretty good because of the temperatures that we need to achieve. Rubies are made out of aluminum oxide powder and a little bit, about 1% of green chromium oxide powder that are mixed together, and it needs to be melted. And for aluminum oxide to melt, you need to reach about 250, 270 degrees Celsius, which is quite a lot. So I'm hoping that the mixture will absorb the laser light pretty good, so we have an actual chance of this working, which would be pretty good, because then I would imagine it's pretty easy, to make little rubies in an engraver. So, without further ado, let's get right in. So now we need to prepare our ruby mixture. For this, I mixed the aluminum powder and 1% of the green chromium oxide powder, 1% by weight. I just calculated it over into volume because I don't have one of the small drug dealer scales, and I used a funnel or like a measuring cup. But I think it should be good enough. On some of the videos it looked a bit more green than on mine here, but I think I didn't make a mistake in mixing, so it still should work. For the engraving, I'm gonna use this stainless steel jigger. I'm gonna fill the top up, and it's gonna be my vessel, so in case it does work, the laser shouldn't penetrate it and shoot through into my mat, and all the powder will run out. This should be sturdy enough to hold everything. Now it's all in. I made sure to tap it on the side to compress the powder down, and also I'm pressing the top surface down because I'm worried that the fan, the cooling fan from the laser, will just blow the dust around otherwise. But now that it's compressed down, it should work. Just note that chromium oxide is also used as a pigment, so it stains everything horribly, and you need to consider that when handling the powder. I now set up my laser. I focused my laser on the top surface of the powder. You can see the indent from the focusing rod. And I'm just gonna do, I'm thinking like a 2x2 millimeter circle at 100% power with, I will be choosing very low speed. I'm gonna do a single pass at the full 10 watt power, and I'm thinking like 1 millimeters per second. And then just a small circle, shouldn't take as long, and then just see what happens. So this is the result of a first run, and I would say it was almost too easy. You can clearly see the bright red color, and I would say that that is a ruby. I'm just gonna turn on my blacklight, and if it is indeed a ruby, then it should fluoresce under the blacklight. It should glow red. And it almost was a bit too easy. You can clearly see it fluorescing under the blacklight. So it is indeed a ruby. I will be trying to extract it now so we can see it a bit closer. Just see how it looks. This is our little ruby up close. Now the powder is a bit burnt in. And what I also noticed is that it is extremely brittle. You can see it is already breaking apart. But it looks very, very pretty. It's a super nice pink. So the mixture has to be right, because this is just, it's exactly how I expected it. And I'm very happy with the results. Now after a little bit of testing, I managed to make a lot more rubies. I put this in this little bag here to try and clean it up from the powder, which is usually burns in. But as you can see, they're all fluorescing, so they're all indeed real rubies, or real handmade rubies at least. However, one issue I had was that you cannot get them to be bigger, and they are always brittle. You can see these are all these tiny shards in here. This is probably the biggest one I managed to make, but they are all brittle. If I were to like push on them very hard, they will just crumble into little tiny pieces, which I don't know, you could probably use them as abrasive, but as a coarser abrasive than the powder. But it is still very fun to do, I would say. And here we are already at the end of the video. I think it was super cool that you can craft something like this, like ruby, just easily in an engraver. That would also mean that technically the other crystals like sapphire and emerald should also be possible, because the difference in those is just different contaminants. The main ingredient is always the aluminum oxide. And if you just were to melt this, it would be a clear crystal, and then with different contaminants, different chemicals, it would color the stone. And there's no real reason why, that shouldn't work with other colors, because melting point is just melting this and it's staying the same. Now, one issue was the size of the actual ruby, which sadly I couldn't create bigger ones. I tried putting the engraver out of focus and to make the beam a bit bigger, but at a certain point the energy density just wasn't enough. What you can also do, if you have maybe a weaker laser, you could unplug the motors. I did the two, so the laser, because if your software doesn't support just pressing a button and turning on the laser stationary, you can unplug the motors and do it that way. I had an idea where I would basically fire the laser, and then you could just, feed the laser with powder, shove more and more powder in to grow the thing. But I didn't try it because it felt a bit sketchy, working around a live running laser. I wasn't really comfortable doing that. But, it could be an option, some sort of feeding system. But yeah, I think I'm going to play around with this ruby stuff a bit more, maybe try other colors. Because it seems very interesting, and I am pretty sure that at some point we can get bigger crystals that you can actually use for jewelry or something, because it would be super cool to make homemade jewelry out of homemade crystals. That was it for this video. If you liked the video and you learned something, then consider subscribing, giving the video a like. Then I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.